So for this exercise, it's up to you what size that you want to create the add-in. So we're going to go File, New, Document, and we can just do letter size for now. I'm going to uncheck Facing Pages, and actually I'm going to go back and just set up my preferences so that I can make sure that my units and increments are what I want. So on the Mac, it's InDesign, in Preferences, Units, Increments. On the PC, it's going to be File, and then Preferences will be at the very bottom there. So you can also do Control K or Command K, Control K on the PC or Command K on the Mac in order to get your preferences up. So I'm going to go Units and Increments, and I'm just going to change my units and increments to inches and press OK. So now when I go File, New, File, New, yeah, I'm going to do 8.5 by 11. I'm going to uncheck Facing Pages. I'm going to have bleeds, so I'm going to click on the bleed, and I'm going to remember that they are 1/8 of an inch, so you can either press in 1/8 inch and make sure this is linked, and now you can also just press, click in 0.125 inch. So now when I press OK, it's going to create one document for me. I probably should have restarted my computer. I've been working a lot on it, so it's just a bit slow right now. I'll do that before my next video because this is going way too slow. Okay, so remember here that this bleed line is that red line here, so my images have to extend to that. I did create some margins, some 1/2 inch, so that's the purple line here. And then if you just, you have your panels open and you have your tools over here to the left. If you don't have these panels open, you can always just go into your window in your workspace and you can say Essentials, or if that doesn't work, you can go to Workspace, Reset Essentials, and that's what you'll get. You can also just click on the ones that we need, so we don't need CC libraries, we don't need control, we don't need, oh, I do need my control, I do like that. I'm going to make sure that I have my layers, and I'm going to make sure that I have my pages, yeah, and swatches and stroke, that's fine for color. So we're going to place an image into this document. So I'm going to get my rectangle frame tool here, click on that, and I'm going to draw it, click and drag, and draw it from that bleed line. So I'm just going to do a full bleed all the way to corner of that red line. And remember that X now appears, and that means that I have an image. This is a rectangle frame for an image. And so I go File, Place, and locate now one of those images that we've downloaded. So I put it on my desktop, and it's called Adventure Add, and I can just click on, let's see which one I want to use. Why don't we try this Pexel one? So double click on it, and remember that I have two selection tools here. My black selection tool moves the whole frame, and I can resize the frame. But then my white selection tool moves the image within the frame, and then I can resize the image within the frame. Now it's hard to see here because I'm actually zoomed in too far. So actually, if I click on the zoom tool and press the Option key to zoom out, and now you can see that that brown box is there, and that's actually the image within my frame. So if I click again on my white selection tool, you can see that brown bounding box is moving, and that's my entire image. So if I want to actually get that image to fit within that rectangle frame, I have to grab one of the corner handles and press down Shift, so I resize proportionately, and you can now see that little kind of ghosting appear, so you can kind of see the entire image, and I can just kind of drag and pull till I find the kind of cropping that I like. I can also do it another way. I can go right click and fitting, and I can say fill frame proportionately, or I can go into object fitting and fill frame to let's say content proportionately, and it will do that. I also, if you have a wider desktop, you're going to have your little preset buttons here that allow you to do exactly the same thing. Sometimes I just like to drag it from my handles and holding down the Shift key, so I'm dragging proportionately. If I accidentally drag it and don't hold down the Shift key, you're going to see that the image is going to get squished and squashed and look terrible. And if you do that, that's okay. The way to fix that is go into your control bar up here, and I can see that this is going to affect it. This is the horizontal enlargement, and this is the vertical enlargement. And because I have them linked here, if I didn't have them linked, it would do them independently, but if I have them linked, it's going to do them linked. And that's what, if accidentally you just start to skew and squish your image, you can also just go back to 100% or 75% or make sure they're actually linked, and you can resize it that way. Now if I use my black arrow key again, just click off to the side here to kind of get out of that. I'm going to drag that bounding box all the way to the bottom here. And now if I want to see toggle between the different views here, preview, or I can just press W to kind of toggle between the different views. Again, I can use my white arrow to just kind of move that around. Maybe she's going to be off to the center a little bit like that. Just make sure that, I'm just pressing W, just make sure, if I zoom in, that that image is extending to the bleed line if you want it to bleed. Now I can press Command or Control 0 to kind of zoom out to 100%, and I can press W to preview between my working and my preview mode. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to do